Hey everyone, it's me Gabby from Wonderground Fabrics, and I thought today I would finally make the video everybody's been asking for, the difference between all of our nylon products. What is the difference? Everybody wants to know, and I'm gonna answer it for you right now. Here is just a little bit of all of them. Right up here we have our Lux Lite nylons. I have my original Lux nylon right here. This is our Lux bonded poly, and this is our Lux bonded nylon. As you can see straight off the bat, our Lux bonded nylon is the thickest of all of them. It's just a little bit heavier, a little bit stiffer to work with. Not stiff, it does have like good, like you can see, it's easy to work with. It's not stiff, but it does have a little bit more structure than the regular. Our original Lux nylon doesn't have a backing on it. So you see it's the same on both sides. Just like that. Whereas the bonded nylon has this, it's like a woven backing of some sort here, kind of cottony feeling. It just gives it a little bit more structure. It also helps keep its shape a little better. These are both, the one thing that people ask, like, what am I making? What can I use to make these things? You can literally use any of these to make various bags. I've got some bags up here on display. This is our bonded poly, the print. I have, we'll walk over here real quick in the shop and I'll show you this little elf hat was made out of just regular Lux nylon. So you can see it only has Lux nylon, there's no interfacing in it. So Lux nylon, waterproof inside, and that's it. It's all, it doesn't need interfacing, it holds its structure really well. So you can kind of see the difference. I believe, here we go, I'll show off the roadie here. The outside is bonded poly, but the black is actually, on this one, is the bonded nylon one, just because I was out of the poly at the moment. But see, it doesn't really affect the structure of the bag, the look of the bag. It just is really like your preference on those two, between the bonded nylon and the bonded poly nylon. I prefer the poly nylon in general, just because I prefer the color options to it a little bit more. And I do like, it's a little bit more wrinkle resistant, I'd say. Regular Lux nylon you can use. It does crease sometimes, but you can iron it out with a low iron. That's the other thing. Any of these, if you get a crease in them, you can use a low iron on them. I always recommend using a press cloth, and that's about it. They're pretty easy to work with. Lux Lite is the one that I always recommend as an intermediate base to work with if you're not used to working with, if you're making bags and you're like a beginner or whatever. I wouldn't recommend starting with one of these. It's a little bit slicker. It does fray a little bit more compared to the others. Bondeds don't fray at all. The regular may fray a little bit, but very minimal. The light will fray on you, so you will want a lighter handy. It's a little slicker. It's lighter weight, so I do recommend this more if you're doing like smaller projects that don't need structure, or if you're wanting like a lining that's really nice. It works great as a lining. We actually used it in the January bee box in the roadie, actually. That one right there has Lux Lite on the inside. So another difference between the two is actually the grain. So I'm gonna try it again. So you see how there is, we call this a twill weave, that diagonal on it. So the Lux bonded nylon, this is our, well, the regular Lux nylon, the Lux Lite, and the Lux bonded nylon all have that twill weave. The poly nylon does not. It is just a traditional slick regular weave on it. It has a little more of a sheen to it as well. And I guess that's it. I love them all. You can use them. I would use them for exteriors. You can use them for interiors, depending on how much weight you want on the inside of the bag. I use the bonded poly nylon the most, I'd say, out of everything right now. It's just my favorite to work with. But they're all great and they all serve their own purpose and they're great for different projects. But that's the main difference between all of them. So I hope that helps. If you have questions, feel free to comment below. I've had people ask if you can interface these. If you need to, you can. Just use I use a heat press on mine and a press cloth. So, and I have successfully done that. I actually haven't used a regular like heat bonded interfacing on any of the bonded ones. I just don't need it, honestly. But you can, and if you're having trouble with it adhering, you can always use, we have a stick and sew interfacing, which doesn't require any heat. You just peel and stick, which is really a great option as well. We actually used that in this bag. I believe you say it called Misa. I'm saying it wrong. I'm sure I'm probably saying it wrong, but we use that for that front panel there. So this has the stick and sew in it for just a little bit more structure. But for the most part, I don't use it. I don't interface these very often. So yeah, I guess that's it. I hope it answered any questions you have, and feel free to comment with any questions and I will get to them.